Hello there, my little goldies, and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to an episode of Color Gab. Now, I do have a small, tiny little color pencil haul that I'm going to show you guys. Plus, we're going to be doing some coloring today. Now, excuse me. I know it's been a while since I've actually, done one of these videos, and I'm going to apologize for any coughing I'm doing here. As you guys know, I have been down with the flu over the last couple of weeks, and I still got that cough that just kind of wants to hold on. My voice is still a little croaky and stuff, but it's the cough that just always wants to hold on. But this flu that's been going around, it's just some nasty, nasty, nasty stuff. So I definitely still feel a little down with it, you know, because of the cough, but I am feeling quite a bit human now, so that's good. And I think I can come on here and actually make a video, hopefully without coughing too much. Hopefully the beginning of this video won't be an omen of what's to come. But anyway, before we actually get into the coloring, I do want to show you just a couple of things that I got. It's not much, I just got 2 items. And so number 1 is the Strokes Art Colored Pencils. We've heard a little bit about these, and there's 50 pencils in this set, and it just comes in a cardboard box. And let me just pull out a couple of the pencils and show you guys. I've not used these yet. They just came in on, I want to say Wednesday. So I've not really had much of a chance to use them, but here is what they look like. And the barrels, I think, pretty much match the color, or they're supposed to. They got the little caps on the end of the pencils there. They come pre-sharpened. It's not too sharp of a point, but you know, it's you can always sharpen them up. But there's 50 pencils in this set, in the Strokes Art set, and I'll go ahead and put that back in there. And then we've also got the Crayola Signature Colored Pencils, which is the not the regular Crayola brand, but the ones that are supposed to be more like artist grade colored pencils. So let me just open up the tin, and there are 50 pencils in this set here too. Okay, so let me pull out a pencil and we'll show you. So we have looks like it's a black barrel. I want to say it kind of looks a little greenish, you know, but I think it's a black barrel. And then you get on the end of here, you get the little cap that is supposed to represent the core of the pencil here. It also comes pre-sharpened. And let me just show you all of the different colors that we have here. Now, I'm using my tabletop tripod today, so I have to kind of maneuver things a little differently. I didn't feel like grabbing my big one today, because I think with what we're going to color today, I don't think we're going to need the big one. So we're just going to deal with the little tabletop one. And then you get a second tray of them too. And then here are the colors here. Okay. So there's 50 colors in each of these sets. Okay. So what I thought we would do today, let me get things packed back up. Comes in this tin. I do need to get cases for these. I have several pencils now that I have to get cases for. And I will be doing that in the near future, I think. Okay, so what I thought we would do today, let me just grab everything. What I thought we would do today is we're going to do something a little different. We're going to be coloring out of this little stained glass book. This is called Hearts. And it looks like one of the bigger stained glass books, but it's a little tiny one. These are really nice little pocket-sized books, and there's like anywhere from 6 to 8 images in these little books. And I have several of these little books. Let me just show you all the ones that I have. I have Hearts, which we're going to color out of today, and I think this will work nicely for Shalene's color along. Okay, so then we have Heavenly Snowflakes. We have Little Birds. We have Garden Flowers. Yeah, Garden Flowers. Starbursts. Little Flowers. Fairy Princesses. Kaleidoscope. little butterflies, stained glass, and then we have unicorns, okay? Now, I also had a little mandalas one, but I colored everything in that. And so what I do with these is when I color them up, I will take the book apart and then I will put them in my journal. But let me just show you what we have here in this little book, okay? Now, what you gotta do, because this is a stained glass book, so what you gotta do is you need to put a piece of white paper, there we go. Put a piece of white paper down underneath your image so you won't be distracted by the next one that's going to be coming through. So I'm not going to do a whole flip through of this book, but you get the idea. So what I thought we would do today, this is a little different. I've not really colored in any of these books on a Color Gab, but I thought we would go ahead and do that today, just because it is a little different. And, let's see, let's get these back in here. And these books, now if you go on Amazon, I will try to link in the description section the book here, plus I will link in the description section the color pencils I got. So what we're going to do today is we're going to color out of this book with the new colored pencils. And so now, as I was saying, these books on Amazon I think are all of like $2, okay? So not very expensive at all. I will try to find this book and link it in the description section. Just as a little disclaimer, I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you decide to purchase anything from any links that I provide, I get a tiny, tiny little commission back, and that just goes back in to help support this channel so that I can show you new supplies and new books and keep our content fresh and new, and so that I can do giveaways and things. Also, my tip jar is down there in the downstairs in the description section, so feel free to do something with that if you like. You don't have to. And I want to thank Stephanie Ray for sending me a coffee. Yay, Stephanie! That's awesome. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and take care of all that housekeeping. So what I thought we would do today is, because these are such little images, I think we'll be able to do 2 images, and we'll do one image with the Strokes Art pencils, and then we'll do another image with the Crayola Signature pencils, okay? And if we don't get it all done today or in this video, I will make a part 2. So I'll do like a little hearts series. And I think this will work nicely for Shalene's color along, just because it's Valentine's. So yeah. I think in her color along you can do anything you want, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to color out of this little stained glass book. So I'm going to go ahead and pick an image, and I will be right back. Alright guys, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to start out with this image here. This is several different hearts, and we're going to start out with the Crayola Signature Pencils. We have yellow, orange, and we have raspberry. And we're going to do we're going to start out on a couple of these different hearts. Okay, so let me just zoom in just a little bit so that we can, so that we can see what we are doing. Okay, so while I'm zooming in, I will do my little disclaimer as usual and tell you guys that I am coloring with the visual impairment. So that means that I have to get kind of close to my work so I can see what I'm doing. But yeah, we will try to keep my head out of the way as much as possible, because sometimes it happens. All right, so let's go ahead and just start with our first heart. But as you guys know, like I said, I had been just sick with the flu these last couple of weeks. So it has been just really, 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 really bad. And I could hardly talk. I was coughing all the time. Man, I felt just so weak. And you know, you read about like all the symptoms and stuff, and man, you name it, I had it. Oh my gosh, I had it, you name it. I had the stomach issues, you know, we called that revolt of the tummy. And just the chills, fever, the cough, the aches and pains, the sore throat. Oh man, you know, this flu that's been going around this year has been just some really, really, really nasty, nasty, nasty stuff. And I hope everybody that has come down with it is feeling better, because it just really is some awful stuff. And I hope those of you that haven't had it, I hope you guys remain healthy, because you don't want to get this thing. You don't. And the bad part is that it was a couple weeks ago, at the beginning of February, like the first weekend of February, like the 2nd and 3rd of February, that Friday and Saturday, I ended up having to go to a meeting. Oof. And I had to go because, like, I'm president of one of the things, you know. And so I had to run one of the meetings. We basically have 2 meetings, and I had to run one of them. Plus, with the other one, I am a committee chair, and I had a really, really, really long report to give. So I had to go. There was really no choice. I had to go. And but the bad part is that well, I got through the meeting that I ran as president. I did get through it. And thank goodness that was the first one that we did. Thank goodness that was the first meeting that we had. And I got through that. And then we had a little break between that meeting and then the other meeting where I'm a committee chair and had to do the report. Well, revolt of the tummy started, and that morning, like, I wasn't feeling very well at all, and that was when the stomach issue started, was on that Saturday. And I'm gonna take these and try to blend them. I don't know how this is gonna turn out, but we're gonna give it a whirl, and we're gonna color these hearts like all different colors because I think that would be pretty nice. And we're just gonna add several layers here for it, but so yeah, that Saturday morning was when the tummy issues started, and let me tell you, it was bad. Like when it's bad enough when you have tummy issues anyway, but when you're out of town and you have tummy issues, so I felt really thirsty getting up Saturday morning, and so I took a little bit of water, and it didn't want to stay down. It did not stay down, and so then we always carry some Pepto, you know, the pink stuff, with us, because one time we were out of town and John needed it real bad, and we didn't have any. So now we always carry some. And so I took some of that, and I got down to the meeting. You know, we got through with the first meeting, and then between the break, revolt of the tummy started up again, and it came up. Ugh. So they were really nice, and we were able to switch the agenda for the second meeting so that I could go ahead and do the report first. That way I could go and rest up, go back to the hotel room and just lie down, because, oh boy, I felt horrible, horrible, horrible. So they were really nice about it. I was leaving the room and they're like, "Get better, Sharon, feel better soon." So that was really nice. But you know what, Lions Club people are always, you know, they're usually really nice anyway. And, you know, I've known these people for quite a long time, and so forth. So, but they were concerned, and, you know, that's nice, you know, when you have people that are concerned about you. So I went back to the room and went to go lie down because I felt so weak and just, felt terrible. And I was going to try to go down like after lunch, but I fell asleep. And I'm just trying to get these to blend in. I just want to see how these pencils react on this vellum paper, because this is what the stained glass books are made of, is this vellum paper. And I'm just adding layers to it. I'm just doing some real soft layers. I'm not being like real heavy-handed or anything like that. But I just want to see how it's going to react to, I just want to see how it's going to react to this paper. So anyway, we got back home that Saturday because it's an overnighter thing. We got back home that Saturday afternoon, and I basically just fell into bed and turned on a movie. I watched The Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher and Amy Smart, I think is her name. And I'd seen that movie before. But I always enjoy watching it, and it's just, I just wanted to have something to just kick back with, and it's a movie that I enjoy. I bought it off of iTunes, and so when I actually purchase movies and stuff and audiobooks, I like to get my money's worth, and so I'm one of those that I can watch it several times, and I mean, not in a row, but like over time I can watch it several times and still enjoy it. Whereas I know some people can only watch a movie like one time and then that's it. They never want to see it again. My husband is kind of like that. But me, I can handle it several times. Okay, what do you guys think of this little heart? What do you guys think of this one? I'm just going to try to get around the edges just a little bit more. So I just added, we don't really have too many like real reds in this set, in the Crayola Signature set. So we just make do with, they do have quite a few oranges and some skin tones and stuff. So I just took this raspberry color and some orange and just kind of put that in the center, you know, just tried to do a little bit of nice shading with it and stuff. And I'm just going to go over it again. I don't know how these pencils compare to the regular Crayola in vibrancy. I haven't really compared the two. Like I said, this is the first time that I've actually used these. And this is different kind of paper. You know, obviously it's not your typical coloring book paper because it's the vellum paper. Alright, so there's that heart done. I'm going to grab some other colors and let's see. Now, the thing that I like about these Crayola Signature pencils is that they do have names on them, which is really cool. So, we're going to see what we can do with purple. I've got a robin's egg blue here and a cerulean. So here's robin's egg blue and cerulean. And one is considerably lighter than the other, so we're going to see. We're going to see how this pans out. We're just going to see how. Oops, we're just going to see how this pans out a little bit, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the first heart, and just do. We'll just do some layers on it. Okay, move that paper so I can see, and that you guys can see. Okay. So I'm going to go down with the, oops, which one am I going to go down with first? I'm going to go down with the, which pencil is this one? I'm going to go down with the cerulean on the edges. And then we will do the next one. Let's see, hope you guys can see that. Yeah. I don't want to zoom in too much because I don't want to make it blurry. Oops, I'm pressing down just a little bit too hard. I don't want to do that. I don't want to zoom in too terribly much because I don't want to make it blurry. And these little books are tiny, tiny. You know, these are little books. These are nice little pocket-sized books. So they're very inexpensive. They're about $2 a piece last time I looked on Amazon. And they're just really nice pocket size, so you can actually take them with you, especially if you have just very, very limited space, like if you're at the doctor's office or something, you can take that with you and do some coloring in that. I'm just gonna go over this a little bit. I pressed too hard on that part there, and so I kind of felt like it didn't want to blend out real well. Sometimes you got to play with this paper and your mediums, because sometimes, you know, not all pencils are going to take to all papers very well. But this seems to be doing okay. This is the Crayola Signature Colored Pencils. These aren't the regular Crayolas. These are more of the, I think they bill these as more of an artist grade, or, you know, for adults or whatever. But so far, now I haven't swatched these. These will be part of my Pencilmania series. But I just wanted to kind of color with these just a little bit and show these to you guys. So, what has been going on too is I did a video and announced the winners of the Balin Colored Pencil giveaway, And I still need to get those pencils out. I got to get hubby to get me some shipping supplies so that I can get these pencils out. Me with having the flu, I did good just to get that video up, but I did want to go ahead and get those, you know, that announced because I know you guys were waiting for that. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging, but I still with having the flu and stuff, it's just been really hard to get too much of anything done. So I realized that I still do need to ship out those pencils, and I am going to do that, so just bear with me. The winners were Shalene, you know, from Shalene, you know, you guys know Shalene. She won a set, and as did Corey Scherer, my gal Corey, and my gal Shalene. They both won. And Caitlin Grigsby won, as well as Annette Soneson. So I will get those pencils out to you ladies. Just bear with me because, like I said, things have just been really slow around here with me trying to get over this flu. Oh, here comes Sheena. Hurricane Sheena. I'm probably going to have to let everybody out in a minute because they probably got to go pee-pee. These two colors, they're pretty similar. They're not really wanting to, we don't really see too much shading in these colors. You can see a little bit, but it's not, these colors are a little similar. I probably should have picked something a little more different, but that's okay. It'll still work. It'll still work. But there are some pretty colors in here, but I will get all these swatched, and this will be part of my Pencilmania series. And yeah. You guys have been really enjoying my Pencilmania series. And I have a lot of fun doing it. I really do. And it gives me that time to actually play with the pencils and to really color with them and you know, so that we can see what they're like and so forth. Okay, let me grab, here we go with the coughing again. Oh, mercy me. Goodness. Okay, let me grab something else. How about, let's see what we got. Let me go let these dogs out and I will be right back. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and see how, we're going to be a little different. We're going to see how a light blue and a violet mix together. And I think we're going to put it on this heart over here because we've already done kind of a blue one up here. Whoops, we've already done kind of a blue one up here as we can see. So we're going to put one down this way. Oops, sorry for the middle finger there guys. Whoops. Alright, so we're going to go with the violet first, and we're going to put that on the edges. I'm going to make sure that I am in frame. Oh, I wanted to show you guys my nails. I went and got my nails done the other day. Whoops. Can you guys see them? I went and got my nails done the other day. I desperately needed a fill-in. So I got the holographic ones. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but when you move it in a different way the light hits it, it kind of does like a little holographic effects. It's pretty cool. They call that cat's eye. They call that cat's eye at the place that I go to get my nails done. So I went and got that done the other night, and I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I get that once in a while, and they have different colors and stuff that you can do in that style. But anyway, like I said, Alex, lay down. There you go. But anyway, like I said, I do have those pencils, and I will be getting those out to you guys. And Alex was under the table kind of crawling around a little bit, so I told him to lay down. Sometimes I have to do that because, like, you know, and even like when we're eating, you know, I'm kind of funny. Like, I'm one of those people that don't like begging dogs. And I don't like dogs like standing like real close to me when I'm eating. I make him go lay down. Especially, you know, the working ones, because you don't want them developing these bad habits and stuff, you know. And so I make Alex lay down when he's kind of near the table. And yeah, you know, even though he's not working at home, you know, I still have to make sure that he doesn't develop these bad habits. So I, you know, still keep up with his training, and still keep, you know, he needs his training to be kept up with, and he needs to know what the rules and the boundaries are. Yeah. So yep. And Caleb too, you know. Caleb's retired, but, you know, we still make sure that, you know, that he's a nicely behaved, well-mannered boy, you know. And Corey said kisses to Caleb, so yeah, Corey, she loves Caleb. She loves Caleb, and it's funny because we're both Illinois gals. We're both from Illinois. And so I'd like to try to get together with her. That would be awesome, you know. And so when we do, I have to make sure that she'll be able to meet Caleb, because she loves him. She would absolutely go bonkers, I think, over him actually getting to see him and stuff. But she loves Caleb. And who wouldn't love Caleb, honestly? I mean, you know, same thing for Alex. But Caleb, you know, being he's an older gentleman, he's kind of mellowed out quite a bit. Alex is still pretty young and very playful. He's just a big old goofy golden, you know. And Caleb was a big old goofy golden, too, when he was younger. And he still kind of is a goofy golden, but, you know, he's mellowed out quite a bit. Although Alex has kind of put some life back into him, because, man, they play all the time. They play all the time, and so when they do, oh my gosh, like their ears get all slobbery, and it's nasty, and then I have to brush them, and oh my gosh, yeah. So it gets a little crazy, because their ears get all nasty, and then, you know what, then they gotta get brushed, because, like, being that they're Goldens, you know, they have the longer fur, and they will get all matted up, so I have to kind of keep after them. And I have to watch, I have to make sure that Alex doesn't play too hard with Caleb, you know, because Caleb is old, and he's got arthritis, and he just can't roughhouse like he used to be able to do. So I have to make sure that that Alex isn't too hard on him. And poor Caleb was kind of creaky this morning, so we have like Rimadyl that we give him for his arthritis. So we had to give him some this morning because he was all creaky and stuff. But in the winter time, I think it's worse. I think it's worse in the winter time. I think he gets more sore and achy in the winter time. Like I do, you know, that's me too. I get more achy and sore in the winter time. Let's see if I can add a couple more layers and really make it stand out here. It seems like it's blending nicely together. Kind of got that nice little blend between the blue and the purple. So just do a couple of the layers, and I think this is going to look really pretty. We're just doing 2-color blends on these hearts. You know, nothing real major, nothing real sophisticated, I guess, but we're just going to make all these hearts different colors and stuff. Okay. So there's this one. Okay, let's see what else that we can find. Okay, so let's try a bronze yellow. This one. And then we will try sand on this heart up here. We'll try to grab this heart up at the top. There we go. And then our first row will be done. So let's see what we can do with this. And these are going to be some light colors, I think. So This one I think would make a good skin tone if you blend it with something else. This sand color. You would have to blend it with like maybe a peach or something, I think. And it's kind of funny, like across different brands of colored pencils, like you get some very similar color names, but sometimes it can look so different. Like the shades can look very, very different across pencil brands. Like, for example, a sand in this brand may look very, very different to sand in another pencil brand. And I think it all, you know, it depends on the pigments that are available to whatever company is making the pencil. So it all just kind of depends, I think, a little bit. Go over that to get it to blend. Sometimes I get the harsh lines because I press down a little bit too hard. One thing when you're layering is you always, or for myself anyway, I mean, I'm not going to say that you always, because there's no right or wrong way to color. It's your book, your supplies, you color how you want to color. But for myself, if I'm going to layer, it's best to kind of start it out like real light, like do some light layers and then just build up. Sometimes, like if you press too hard, at least for me, it makes it a little harder to blend, so you have to kind of be careful about what pressure you use. And I'm not really, now when I was a kid and I would color with crayons, oh my gosh, like I was so heavy-handed. I would be just super heavy-handed with my crayons. But yes, I would be just so heavy-handed with my crayons. And you know what? I think when I was a kid, I used crayons a lot more than I would use pencils. I mean, we did have Crayola pencils and stuff, but I think I would use crayons more than anything. And I would be just so heavy-handed. Like, I mean, I kid you not, I would just like totally just mash down on that crayon. And, and I think I might have told this story before, but I remember one time when my mom and my aunts and stuff would go play bingo all the time, and this was at the time, you know, when we could go, and it was at a little community center in the town that I lived in. And I remember one time, you know, we were just kind of sitting there, and I wanted something to do, because obviously we couldn't play bingo, we were too young, and I think I was maybe about 6 or 7 at the time. And so I was looking through this bag of stuff that, you know, that we had with us, and there was some coloring stuff. There was a couple of coloring books and some pencils and crayons and stuff. And the crayons, I think there was maybe it was either a 12 or a 24 set, and it was in this like little plastic clear container. It wasn't in the box, but it had like a little, it kind of looked like one of those containers where that playing cards used to come in. You know, you guys ever remember that? You know, the clear little containers that the playing cards used to come in. And so anyway, that's what these crayons were in. And I was looking at this book, and there was a picture that this one gal, you know, this one girl did. She was, I think, maybe a year older than me. And I just remember it just looked so pretty because, you know, she had like a light touch with the crayons, and she made it just look really, really nice. And I remember just being kind of jealous, like, man, I wish my stuff would look like that, because mine always looked really dark and streaky, you know, because I was so heavy-handed with the crayons, right, you know? And I didn't get that concept at the time that I was pressing too hard. But hers, I mean, just looks so pretty. And I remember that. I don't remember what the picture itself looked like, but I just remember the colors were just so pretty. She did such a really nice job on it, you know, and it just looks so nice, you know, whereas mine always looked so dark and streaky. So, you know, when I started doing with the coloring, when I started getting into the coloring as an adult, you know, a couple of years ago, I had to kind of tell myself not to be so heavy-handed with the pencils. Now, I started out with, I did the pencils, not the crayons, and my first set of pencils were the Prismacolors. I invested in the 150 set of Prismacolors. Those were my first adult coloring pencils. And I told myself not to go so heavy-handed with the pencils, especially after watching all of the videos about Prismacolors and how soft and stuff they were, and that you didn't really need to press. And then if you press like real hard too, it was going to break. So I told myself not to do that. And you know, it really didn't take much to tell myself not to go so heavy-handed. You know, I really didn't have that big of an issue with that. I think maybe because I hadn't colored in so long, and I kind of got out of like the, you know, maybe because how do I put it? Maybe because I hadn't done it for so long that the bad habits and stuff weren't there anymore. So it was kind of like going with a totally fresh, I guess, clean slate, if you know what I mean, you know, kind of thing. So yeah, I try not to be too heavy-handed with the pencil unless I'm going for something like that, you know. So how many of you, you can leave this in the comment section, how many of you consider yourself to be heavy-handed, you know, when you color? How many of you consider yourself to be heavy-handed? How many of you, do you color with a light touch, or do you think you're heavy-handed with your, you know, with your pencils or whatever? Let me know in the comment section what you are, whether you have a light touch or if you are heavy-handed. Okay, I'm gonna grab some other colors and I will be right back. Okay, so next we are going to try, we're gonna be very different. We're gonna try maroon, and then we're gonna try mauve, and we're gonna see how that mixes together. Like I said, we're just playing. We're playing with my little book here, and it's my coloring book, so I can color it the way I wanna color it, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, so we're gonna go over here on this heart with maroon, and I'm just gonna make sure that we can see. So yeah, tell me in the comment section, like I said, if you consider yourself to color with a light touch, or if you are heavy-handed, or if you have a combination of both, like if you do layering or whatever, you know, do you do a varying pressures or whatever, you know, how is it that how do you do? I'm just really curious. You know, it seems like a lot of people I talk to, they say that they're really heavy-handed when they color. And like I said, I used to be that way when I was a kid. I've gotten myself out of that though. You know, unless I am like, you know, unless I am doing something where I need a lot of pressure, where I do add heavy pressure, but I try to be conscious of that, and not do that all the time. So yeah. Last night we had a Lions Club meeting, and actually it wasn't really too much of a meeting, it was just a short meeting. But you know, because once a year we do a social thing, and we always go to a play. There's a local theater guild not too far from where we meet, and once a year we always our Lions Club always sponsors one of the shows, and so we get our own showing, like on Thursday night, and we've been doing that for the last few years. So we went to see, the play was called Bill W. and Dr. Bob, and it was about how Alcoholics Anonymous got started. And so it was a good story. I never really thought of it before, about how it got started, because I guess I never really needed AA. I never needed AA or anything, never had to go to it. But, you know, it's very helpful for people who are in that position where they need to go to it, you know. And, but I'd never really thought about how it got started before, so it was kind of a, it was really informative to me, and I highly enjoyed seeing it. We had a good time. So what we do is we go to, you know, where we meet, you know, for our meetings, we go there and we have dinner. We always do our dinner, and then we have like a little bit of a short meeting, you know, nothing much, and then we drive over to where the play is, and we have the play. We see the play, and then we go home. I told John, I said, you know, we need to go more often, because I really do enjoy going to see the plays, and they do such a great job over there. I told John, I said, you know, one of these days I should audition for a show. I've never done it before, and because I've been so busy with other stuff, you know, with Lions Club stuff, that I was always afraid that, you know, there would be a conflict. Plus, of course, like, you know, it's tryouts, so you just don't know if you're going to get a part. But one of these days I am going to audition for something and hope for the, you know, hope for something. Because I think it would be fun to do. I think it would be a lot of fun to do. To actually be in a show like that. Or a show, you know. I haven't really been in a play since high school. And that's kind of a little story in itself. I always would try out for them. I mean, I can't say that I tried out for it every year, but, you know, I tried out for it a few times. And about the only time I really got anything was it my sophomore year in high school? And the only thing I got was a stupid little bit part where I had maybe 5 minutes of airtime. I mean, the role that I had was kind of comical, because I played this crazy old lady who lived in this attic. I don't even remember what the play was called, but I played this crazy old lady who lived up in the attic, and she came down and said a few things, and then pretended to play the piano, you know, when the piano wasn't there. I asked the occupants of the house if they wanted to hear this. I think it was an etude by Chopin, and, you know, there was no piano there, so I, you know, what the play called for, you know, it was basically you're playing air piano, but on the tabletop, I guess. So she, you know, she thinks that she's actually playing the piano when she was just, you know, playing on the table. So it was kind of comical, you know, it was kind of comical. I just wish it was a bigger part. I just wish it was a bigger part, but it wasn't. And, but anyway, that was the only time I ever really got to be in a play. And I think it was because, things were very different when I was back in school. Like, being that I had this visual impairment, like, not many people gave me a chance to do much of anything, really. About the only thing I ever really did was, you know, I was in the band and chorus and stuff, but, like, I tried out for the cheerleading squad, never got to be on that. I tried out for the play, only got to be in it once. And I firmly believe that a lot of it was due to the visual impairment, that they didn't want to take the chance and actually let me do anything. And I would hope that now that things have changed a little bit, you know, this was, I mean, we're talking like, you know, 30-some plus years ago, 25, 30, well, about 30 years ago. So, I mean, I'm kind of an old lady now, but, you know, I would hope that things have changed quite a bit, you know, from when I was in school. But speaking of that, boy, I had this really, really interesting dream, not last night, but was it Wednesday night? I had this really interesting dream. Let me get some more colors, and I will be right back, and I will tell you about that dream. How do you guys like our hearts so far? I think they're coming out really pretty. All right, let me grab a few other colors, and I will be right back. Okay, we're going to try the maroon again with the salmon. Pretty pink there, so we'll see how that's going to blend. Well, I think we're going to put it right here, just to kind of keep it away from all the other ones like that. So anyway, like I was saying, this dream I had, and I'm just going to make sure we can see. Yeah. So this dream I had on Wednesday night. I guess I must have been thinking about the play that we were going to see, because I dreamed that I was at a high school, and I think I must have been a student or something, you know, but it was as I am now, you know, but I must have been in high school or something, and they were doing a play. They were doing tryouts for a play, and I believe it was a musical, and I believe that they were doing Grease. And so, being a singer, you know, I decided that I was going to try out for it. And so I did, and it went well. You know, I sang, and I really thought I was going to get something decent, right? So, get the results, and my name wasn't on anything. And I remember just kind of standing, I think we were standing in line doing something. We were just kind of standing there. And there was a girl to the left of me who had strawberry blonde hair. Now keep in mind, these people that are in this dream are people that I don't even know. I just kind of manufactured them, I guess, in the dream. But anyway, so she was standing, she had strawberry blonde hair. She was standing there. And then the teacher comes over, you know, that did the play. And this teacher's name was Sandy. Now, again, you know, keep in mind, I don't, you know, these are people that I don't know in real life. It was just manufactured by the dream. Well, anyway, Sandy, she comes over, and I guess this girl was like one of her favorites, and so she's like hugging on this girl, and she was telling her that, oh, she should have tried out for the play because she would have got a part. I think the girl was sick or out of town or something, you know, and so you could just tell that this girl was like teacher's pet, you know. So after all that was over, I cornered Sandy, and I said, look, I said, I want to talk to you. And I said, I want you to give it to me straight. I said, did I not get a part because, you know, because of my eyesight? And then she's like, well, yeah, you know, that was why, you know, even though you were good enough and all that, you know, that was why. And then she starts asking me, well, can you do combat scenes and stuff? You know, can you do this? Can you do that? And I said, well, of course not. I said, you know, you, like anybody that's, you know, that's a good actor or whatever, you try out for whatever, you know, you go with whatever you feel that you can do, you know. I wouldn't have tried out for something that had combat scenes. And so anyway, she'd kind of give me this big song and dance and stuff. So then I cried discrimination. I said, you know, this is discrimination, don't you? And I guess I must have recorded the conversation or something. And, you know, the instant that I said discrimination, you know, she kind of got panicky. And so then the next scene in the dream, and this is, I was an observer this time, you know, I wasn't really an active participant. I was standing in the principal's office, and the principal was passing out booklets to all the teachers on discrimination. And I guess, and I think he might have been given a lecture, like lecturing them or something that, you know, no, you can't do that. And but anyway, let me tell you, I was ready to go to battle. You know, once I found that out, I was ready to go to battle, and I believed I had the proof to, you know, to shoot him down, because I was ready to write something for the newspapers. I was going to go to the school board. I was gonna go to like the higher ups and stuff, you know, and so anyway, so then in the next scene of the dream, I remember we were all in this meeting, and so I think it was the principal that asked, well, how can we make this go away? Because I think they were panicky, you know, knowing, you know, that I had the proof, and that I could have put a monkey wrench and things. So the principal says, well, you know, what can we do to make this go away, you know, so that you won't file these charges or whatever. And I said, I want a part in that play. And I didn't give them the option of saying no, because, you know, what they would do is they would say, you know, they would fall back onto the excuse, well, somebody was better than you, and blah, 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 blah. So I said, I want a part in that play. And I said, not a stupid bit part either. Not a stupid little bit part either. And then I woke up. So that was one of those dreams where, now usually I have kind of disjointed, bizarre ones, usually. But this one was actually very, very vivid. Very, very, very vivid. And I believe that, honestly, it was kind of grounded in reality because, you know, back in the day, you know, when I was in school, I believe that I never got to do much of that because of the visual impairment, although they would never admit that to me. You know, they would never admit that to me, you know, if I were to ask about it. And those were the days where decisions were final. Like, you know, the teacher made the decisions and you don't question it. You know, back in my day when I was in school, you don't question the teachers. And so I never questioned anything, but I firmly believe that the visual impairment prevented me from doing things that I wanted to do. And now looking back on things, you know, hindsight is always 20/20. And now the play, I still feel really bad about because I really, really wish I could have done more of the plays. But the cheerleading squad, like, I probably, like, had I got on that thing, I probably would have hated it. So I guess it's a good thing that I never made it. And really the only reason I tried out for it, and again, you know, keep in mind when you're young, you're kind of stupid, you're kind of an idiot. But, you know, like anybody else, you know, I wanted to be popular. And so I thought, well, you know, if I can get on the cheerleading squad, boy, I'll be real popular, because cheerleaders were always popular, usually, you know. And so that's why I tried out for the cheerleading squad, even though, you know, looking back on it now, and of course, I wouldn't have admitted it at the time, but you know, being a cheerleader wasn't exactly my type of thing to do, because I'm not very athletic. And I had to go look at like when they were doing the cheers, I would have to go look at the moves like real close up, because, you know, I couldn't really see that far away to see what they were doing. So it just would have been, it would have been just very challenging for me. Plus, you know, being that I'm not very athletic at all, I probably would have hated it. I probably would have hated it. So hindsight being that it is 20/20, it's probably a good thing that I didn't make the cheerleading squad. However, the play thing I still regret. Yep, I still regret. So I think that dream was kind of founded in reality, and I must have been thinking about the play that we were going to see, which is probably what spurred on that dream. But I thought it was interesting. And I thought it was interesting because it was just so vivid and very sequential, which my dreams, like I said, are usually really disjointed and kind of weird. But yeah. Okay, so this heart I think is looking really pretty. Blend all that out. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting, you know? I really did. Okay, more colors, and I will be right back. All right, so we're gonna make a green heart. We're gonna go with spring green. Whoops, this is spring green here, and then we're gonna go with lime green. And let's go ahead and put, let's do this one right there. Okay. Make sure we can see. Okay. Adjust the camera just a tad. Okay. So we're going to start out with the lime green, and then we'll go in with the spring green. So yeah, I just thought I would kind of share that with you guys, because that was quite interesting. It was an interesting dream. Ooh, these are kind of lighter colors. I hope I'm going to be able to see this. This is going to be like a really pastel heart, I think. So anyway, tell me some interesting dreams that you guys have had. Leave that in the comments section. I keep a dream journal. A dream journal is one of the journals that I keep. As you guys know, not only am I into the coloring, but I also love my journals and I love my fountain pens. So I keep the types of journals that I've been keeping is my regular written journal. I do have a written journal that I keep that I pretty much just strictly write in. Sometimes I'll put other things in it like pictures, but mostly it's just one that I write in. And yeah. And then another type of journal that I do is my Omni journal, which kind of replaced my Hobonichi. I'm not doing like an official Hobonichi this year because now if you go back on my channel, you will see the flip through of my Omni journal so far. And I'll explain why I decided to go with that type of journal rather than go with the Hobonichi this year. And basically it was because of paper waste. Like a Hobonichi is a planner, is originally a planner. And so it had monthly and weekly calendars and stuff, which I didn't really care for that layout, so I never really used it because I used the Hobonichi more for my creative outlet. And so there was a lot of paper waste because I didn't use the calendars, especially, sometimes I would use the monthly one, but especially the weekly one because the space was so tiny where you could write stuff in, and I didn't like that layout. So there was a lot of paper waste in the Hobonichi, and so I would just use that second half of it really. And then it was pre-dated, so sometimes like if I didn't do it every day, again, you get more paper waste because you have an empty page that you don't do because it's pre-dated. All right, I don't remember what the heck I was talking about, folks. I really don't. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oof, that sucks. But I had to take care of that phone call. It was a appointment confirmation. But yeah. I don't remember what I was talking about. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. But I don't think that we're going to have time to color 2 images in this video. I think what I will do is I'll finish this one with you guys with the Crayola Signature ones, and then I'm going to have to make another video where we do the Strokes Art pencils in another one of these, because I did promise that I would do that, but we're just going to have to make it a part 2. And this will definitely be going for Shalene's color along, because this is hearts, hearts and Valentines and stuff, and yeah. And it's a different kind of book, you know, because it is, number one, it is the stained glass stuff, which is a unique book anyway, but these are like the little pocket-sized things, which I don't know if too many people have these. I mean, these are cute little books. These are cute little books. So, and these 2 colors seem to be pretty similar, so it's not really wanting to shade too much, but I guess that's okay. I guess it's alright. But I want to lay down just some different colors here on these hearts so that we can just see what it's going to look like. Okay. All right, I think that's the best that we're going to be able to do with the green one. Okay. So we got a few more to do. I'm going to grab a few more colors and I will be right back. Alright guys, actually what I decided to do is we're going to get this to shade a little bit more. I'm going to take this just regular green color and I'm going to go over the edges, and then we'll just we'll shade it with that one. We'll do that. I grabbed the lime green again, and then I just grabbed the regular green because I think we can add more dimension here on the outside with the green, and then we can get things to blend out a lot more. So we're going to do that because it just kind of looked like it was all one color, and I didn't want that to happen. So we will work with this regular green, and then we'll blend it out with the lime green. So the age-old question: what are you guys coloring these days? Are you participating in Anne's Fairy Tale February color along? I'm still hoping to. You know, like I said, being down with the flu, I haven't really been able to do much of anything, and I couldn't really sit up long enough to color anything like when I had taken to my bed. So it was just I couldn't really color. I couldn't even color when I was sick. So, but I'm still hoping that I can participate a little bit, that I can at least maybe do one picture for hers. And there's still quite a bit of the month left, so we'll see what we do. We will see what we do. Because there are some really, really nice pictures in that book to color. And I'm kind of behind in my video watching, like I still have quite a bit to watch. I didn't even really watch too many videos when I was sick. I did a little bit, but mainly I just napped a lot and turned on an audiobook. I was listening to Game of Thrones. I got through the first book in that series, Game of Thrones. And I'm actually a latecomer to that series. I mean, I've only watched like the first season of Game of Thrones on HBO, because I didn't have HBO until now. And we decided to get rid of our satellite TV, our direct TV that we had, and we bought a Roku and decided to just go with streaming. Like, you know, we're talking Netflix and Hulu, and I got a streaming TV service, which is called DirecTV now, and I was actually able to get HBO and Stars and stuff. So I was able to actually watch Game of Thrones, the first season, and I plan to watch more of it. I just have to do it, because there's a lot more to watch than that. But I did manage to watch the first season, and I enjoyed it. You know, is it one of my favorites? No, it's not. But I did enjoy it, and I'll probably like it more as I continue watching. One thing I'm figuring out, though, from reading the books and watching that first season, is you better not really get attached to any of the characters, because most of them end up dead. There's a lot of them. Most of them aren't going to survive, from what I am seeing. Even the real steady characters, they're not going to survive. Like Ned Stark, boy, you know, that one got to me. And, you know, I figured if he can die, boy, anybody can die. And so, yeah, don't get attached to a character in Game of Thrones, because they're probably going to end up dead, and then you're going to be very, very sad. So, yeah. So I do plan to watch more of that. I do plan to hopefully try to color something for Anne's color along. I'm doing this one for Shalene's in this book, because I think these hearts will count for Valentine's. Alright, so there's the green one. Alright, so I'm going to go grab a few more colors, and I will be right back. Alright, so we're going to use, we're going to use Goldenrod. Whoops. Come on. We're going to use Goldenrod, and then we're going to use Red Orange over here on this heart on the bottom row. We'll just make sure that we can see. Okay, very good. So we're going to take the red orange, and we're going to work on the outside edges over here. Yep. So, like I said, what have you guys been coloring? What have you guys been up to? Have you been watching anything interesting? What have you been reading? Oh, I know what I was talking about when the phone rang. I was talking about the different journals that I was using, and I was talking about the Omni journal. And I decided to do that rather than the Hobonichi because of the paper waste. And like, if you don't use a day, because it's a predated journal, and if you don't use a day in the Hobonichi, then you kind of waste that paper. So I decided to go with the Omni journal, which the one that I'm using is a 7 Seas Writer from Nanami paper. You can use any journal you want, but it's basically a blank canvas, and it's got the same type of paper as a Hobonichi. It's got the Tomoe River paper, which is awesome for fountain pens, and it doesn't have any pre-dates or anything. It doesn't have anything on it. It's just blank paper, and I thought that that would be a better choice for a journal for me, because I've come to the hard conclusion that trying to do something every day doesn't quite work for me, because there's times where I either don't have time to do it, or and I'm pressing a little harder because I'm trying to get this to blend. I think maybe I picked a couple of colors that aren't going to do well together. So I've come to the hard conclusion that trying to do this every day doesn't quite work, and then I have that paper waste, which I hate. I hate paper waste. So now an Omni journal is basically where anything goes, anything and everything goes. It's a journal that you use multiple elements on, like you can do writing plus pictures or collaging. You can do washi tape plus collaging. You can do writing plus stickers, you know, as long as it's got multiple elements. And anything and everything goes. So I did a flip through of that the other day. So you can go onto my channel and look at that if you so choose. I'm using some heavy pressure because I'm trying to get this to blend out. Holy smoke. Yeah. And I think maybe I got two colors that didn't quite go well together, but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. I'm just going to go with a real light hand on this because I don't want to... I hate harsh lines, you know, when I'm trying to get stuff to blend out. I don't like the real heavy, harsh lines. So, we are going to try to make this work on this little heart here. And I think I can. Ugh. I sound like the little engine that could. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. You guys remember that story from when you were kids? That sure is an old one. I remember it. I do indeed. I remember it very well. So it's blending with a little bit of heavier pressure on this one. I'm just kind of going over everything. I normally don't like to use this heavy pressure. And all the other colors were blending out nicely, but I think maybe I picked a couple that don't like to play nicely together. Sometimes that happens. And actually, like if you're... you know, if you do your combinations and if you do it right, I guess you're really not going to run into that problem. But I tend to kind of experiment a little bit. I really like it when there's a combo chart out there. And Color with Claire, I think, does a lot of that stuff where she makes up these little combo charts with different brands of colored pencils. And just the idea of doing that, I mean... You know, it takes up a lot of time to do, and it must have taken her a really long time to do. But I really admire her for having the tenacity to do that, and then to share it with all of us. So thank you, Claire, for all of your wonderful resources. You know, it makes our lives so much easier. Okay. I think that's about all I'm going to be able to do with this heart here. Anyway, such as it is, there it is. Well, maybe if I add just a little tiny bit more up here. Just go really super light. So I just like to have it to get that definition there, you know? Okay. All right. We're going to get this picture done in one setting. Even though these books are real little, you know, it still takes a little bit to do, especially if you're going to shade and blend and stuff and layer. Even though it's a little book, it still takes a little while to do. You know, because I'm taking my time with it. Okay, guys, I'm going to grab more colors and I will be right back. All right, so let's go ahead and try a violet turquoise and a sky blue on this heart right there. Okay. Oops, let me move things around just a tad. There we go. Make sure that we can still see, and I'm not going to be hitting my camera. Okay. All right, I think we're good. Okay. So I had to go check some of my footage, and I went to dump some of it off on the computer because I don't know. I'm supposed to get like 2 hours on this camera, and I don't think I recorded for 2 hours, but I don't think I quite get that. I think I get more like an hour and a half, but still, I'm a little bit, how do I put it? I'm a little bit careful or cautious or whatever, because I like to try to make sure that my footage isn't going to cut off, because it's happened to me before where I've been recording and then all of a sudden the camera just quit because I didn't have enough room on there, you know, because I'd forgotten to erase some other footage that I'd had. So I tend to just, you know, from time to time just to go dump everything off and then come back and keep recording, and then put everything on there when I'm actually done with a particular video. So that's what I have been doing. I went to go dump some of that off, and I went to check it just to make sure that that I had everything, and I think everything's okay so far. So far, I think everything's okay. So I think these hearts are going to turn out really pretty. They're going to be all different colors, but you don't necessarily always have to color your hearts red. It's your coloring book, you color it how you like. And these little coloring books are very cute. You know, if you want to try out some of the stained glass ones, and if you don't want to pay the whole, I don't know, was it $7 for a big one? You can get, you know, one of these little ones, and it's the same paper, but you can get one of these little ones and try it out and see if it's something that you like. You can invest like $2 rather than like 7 or 6 or even 8, you know, depending on what they are. But now I'm not sure what company makes these little bitty stained glass. Probably Dover Publications. I don't know, but for the bigger stained glass ones, Dover Publications makes those. Okay, and those are anywhere from $6 to $8 on Amazon, and there's all different subject matter with those stained glass books. Like anything else, like all other coloring books, there's a lot of different subject matter that you can pick and choose from to color. And these little ones, you know, there's quite a few different ones. There's not the selection that there are with the full-size coloring books, but there's a few that you know, that are very appealing, and who knows, there may be more that they've come out with that I don't know about, because I just have those few that I showed you guys in the beginning of the video, and but there might be more that I don't have, that I haven't seen. So if you want to try out the stained glass ones without investing a lot of money, you can try these little ones, and you can see if you like it or not. And the little ones are a little bit easier to color. I shouldn't say easier, well, maybe easier. They're not quite as intricate as like a more full-size coloring book. So if you want something kind of easy, you know, just something kind of quick to do, these little ones are great to do. Although, like I said, I'm taking my time with these hearts, so it's taking me a bit of time to color in them, but that's okay. That is all right. It's not like you have to win a race or anything like that. And I just wanted to show you guys just how these pencils reacted on this type of paper. And it seems like it's doing pretty well from what I can see. It blends pretty nicely. Now, like I said, I've not tried it out on other paper. This is really my first time using these Crayola Signature pencils, being that I just got them in the mail on Wednesday. I got them pretty late Wednesday. Usually our mail doesn't come until later in the day, which is kind of annoying. I wish that we would get our mail in the morning. But I guess where we end up on the route, it doesn't come until like later in the afternoon, which really sucks. So by the time it came, I had other things to do Wednesday night, and so I wasn't able to try them out. And then Thursday, you know, yesterday, I was trying to catch up on my journal, so I didn't color. And then I was still feeling a little bit weak, you know, from the flu, so being that we had to go out last night, I decided to just kind of rest up a little bit. You know, after I got my journal stuff done, I just rested up a little bit. Took a little nap because I didn't get much sleep Wednesday night. I did have that dream that I told you about Wednesday night, but I was awake for quite a while Wednesday night, and so that kind of messed me up during the day. So I took a little nap yesterday, you know, after getting caught up with my journal stuff. And yeah. And today I'm spending some time doing a coloring gab with you guys because I promised you one once I started to feel better. And I did want to go ahead and do that with you guys. Yeah. So we're just going to do some little hearts today with our Crayola Signature brand colored pencils. Okay. I'll just try to blend that out just a little bit. So these pencils seem to work pretty good on this paper. Some of the colors don't blend out as easily as others do. You have to kind of work with it a little bit, it seems, but it's doing pretty well. I can't really complain so far. You know, it seems like it's doing really well. And it seems like the pencils keep a nice point for a while. I think it's kind of a... I think it's a softer pencil than the regular Crayola, but it's still a kind of a harder pencil from what I am seeing so far. Okay, there's that heart. All right, guys, we got like two more hearts to do, and then we'll be done with this picture. So, and then some fill-ins. I think I'm gonna do a fill-in with another color, but we got 2 more hearts to do plus some of the white spaces there to do. So anyway, let me go grab some other colors and I will be right back. All right, guys, let's see what this red orange, let's see what this red orange and this mahogany do together. Let's just see what this does together. And we'll do it on this last heart right there on the bottom. Let's see. Move that over just a little bit. There we go. Let's see what this will do on that last heart right there on the bottom. So we'll start out with the mahogany, and we're going to go on the outer edges here of it, like so. And we'll just use our light hand, of course. So we're just going to see how these different colors react together. Yeah, and so far so good, I think. So far so good. So, did everybody have a nice Valentine's Day? Did you guys do anything special? We really don't do too much special on Valentine's Day, unfortunately. We just don't. But, you know. I used to get a card. I used to at least get a card, but we just, I don't know, we just haven't done much with Valentine's Day. It's a cute little holiday, you know. I'm a big thing for romance, you know me. I love romance. But yeah. It is what it is. Sometimes I'll watch a sappy movie on Valentine's Day. Yep, sometimes I'll do the sappy movie thing. The sappy love story, which I like. Because I like to bawl, you know. Give me a good cry or something. You know, one movie that always made me cry, and it's kind of an older movie now. I think this was made either back in the late 90s or early 2000s, but City of Angels with Nicolas Cage and Meg Ryan. I love that movie. I love that movie, even though it's sad at the end. Oh my gosh, like, it's so sad at the end. It makes me cry every time. Because the female character dies at the end of it. then the poor guy is left all alone. Like, the guy is an angel, and he falls in love with the mortal woman, and so he wants to be with her. So he, you know, to not be an angel anymore, he has to fall to earth, and then he becomes a mortal human. So he did that, you know, he did that one day. He made the decision to do that, and then he got to have like one night with her, and then it was like the next day she was riding her bike and got hit by a truck and died. So then at the end, you know, one of the angels comes to him and you know, asked him if it was worth it, and he says yeah, it was, because, you know, I forgot how he put it, but one touch of her skin, one breath of her hair, and one night with her was better than an eternity without her. Oh my God, like that just, oh Lordy, that gets to me every time. It makes me cry. It's like, man, why did it have to end that way? That really sucked that it ended that way. I like a happy ending. I do. I like a happy ending, but oh my gosh, that one got to me. That one still makes me cry every time I watch it. The one that really makes me cry, though, now this isn't a romance or anything, but the one that really makes me cry is there's a movie called The Champ, and this is a real old movie. This was done, I think, back in the 70s. And it had Ricky Schroder in it when he was real teeny tiny, when he was little bitty. You know, Ricky Schroder from Silver Spoons. Do you guys remember him? And his father was played by Jon Voight, and his father was a retired boxer. And he tried to be a good dad, but, you know, just his intentions and stuff, you know, he made a lot of mistakes. But the kid always called him the Champ, you know, because instead of Dad, he was the Champ. Or Champ, you know, called him Champ. So at the end of the movie, the Champ decides to come out of retirement, but it was unadvisable because, you know, he wasn't in the best of health and stuff. And, well, basically, it killed him, you know, when he fought the last fight, it killed him. So at the end of the movie, you know, little Ricky, he's, you know, he says, Champ, you gotta get up. He was crying, you know, he was like really sobbing, and Champ, you gotta get up, we gotta go home. And of course Champ is dead, you know, on the gurney. And just the way it's like, Champ, you gotta get up, we gotta go home. And it just, oh my gosh, it just got to me. It just got to me. And it's one of those movies that I have to watch when nobody's here, because by the time the end comes, like, I'm just bawling my eyes out. Like, I'm sobbing just as much as little Ricky was, you know. And actually, I was listening to a commentary, you know, because I have the DVD here, and Ricky Schroder and Jon Voight were doing the commentary, like, as the movie was playing. Like, you can turn the commentary on or off. And Ricky Schroder, I guess, well, actually, he's Rick Schroder now. He doesn't go by Ricky anymore, but he's actually a very, very sensitive man, and he cries easily. You know, there's just things that happen, and he cries. I guess he's a strong Christian. He's a strong Christian, but I guess he cries pretty easily. He's a sensitive soul. And so, you know, in certain parts of the movies, you know, he was sniffling and crying, you know, and of course, by the time the end came, he's like, "Oh man, John, I'm crying again." She's like, "Oh man," and I think in the movie, I think in the movie he was actually crying. Like, I don't think he was like acting. Like, I think he was really crying. I think he was. But oh my gosh, like that'll tear your freaking heart out, man. That movie will tear your heart out. It will tear your freaking heart out. So just be fair warned. I recommend it, but just know it's going to tear your heart out. Another movie that I really like is called Somewhere in Time. And that was based on a story by Richard Matheson. And this had Jane Seymour and Christopher Reeve in it before he had his accident and got paralyzed. And it's definitely a romance. It's about a guy that goes back in time. He kind of got infatuated by this woman. He'd seen pictures of her. She was an actress, and he got infatuated by her. Okay, guys, I'm going to get some more colors, and I'll come back and tell you about this movie in a minute, so I'll be right back. Alright, guys, I did a bit of a screw-up, and I accidentally deleted one of the clips that I had done. I'm not happy about that, but we missed... I don't have the clip anymore where I was coloring one of the hearts, but this is what we got so far. We just have one more heart to do, and I got tan and I got dark brown. We're gonna work on this heart here, but yeah, I was talking about just different movies I was watching over Valentine's Day because I like watching romantic movies, and this other movie that I was talking about was called Somewhere in Time, and it had Christopher Reeve and Jane Seymour in it, and it was based on a story by Richard Matheson, and it was about a guy that got infatuated with this actress from the early 1900s, and he was from a different time. I think this movie was made in the 70s, and so he found a way to go back in time to be with her because, you know, he was infatuated with her, wanted to be with her, and he pretty much had to get rid of like all present day things and just kind of will himself back to the time that he wanted to be. So anyway, he was able to do that. He was successful, but there were some obstacles, you know, when he was trying to be with her. Like her agent didn't like him hanging around, so he did everything he could to discourage it and stuff, even went as far as some violence and stuff. But, you know, they and like I said, it had Christopher Reeve in it before he had his accident and was paralyzed, and Jane Seymour. And so anyway, they ended up being together. They fell in love and stuff, and so they were spending their time together. And all of a sudden, he reaches in one of his suit pockets, and he finds a coin from the present day. And so because he found something from the present day, it created a paradox, and it threw him forward in time, back to his own time. And try as he might, he couldn't go back in time to be with her again. He was unsuccessful trying to get back to her. So he pined away for her, and basically, you know, he died of a broken heart because he couldn't be with her anymore. And so at the very end of the movie, like, now at the beginning of the movie, you know, she was an old lady, and she, you know, she had died. So at the end of the movie, you know, you get the classic scene, you know, where it shows him having died, and, you know, she comes to kind of collect him to take him to heaven, and you see them together in heaven, you know. So it kind of had a bittersweet ending and stuff, because it wasn't really a happy ending because their time together ended so abruptly, but you kind of knew. And oh my gosh, like the scene just always gets to me because, like, when he gets the coin, he kind of knows what's going to happen, and he feels it coming on. And so things kind of start to turn black around him, and you know, he's going farther and farther away, you know, which kind of makes her look like that she's shrinking, shrinking away. So the last thing, you know, she kept screaming his name, you know, Richard, Richard, and then, you know, she's getting farther and farther away, so you see just a small image of her face, and the last thing you hear is just her screaming his name, and then, you know, boom, he's back in his own time, and he knows what happened, and he's trying everything he can to get back, but unsuccessfully. So, it had you kind of knew, though, that it wasn't going to end well, because, like, before he actually goes back in time, he talks to a lot of people that, you know, that knew her, and, they talked about how something happened in her life, and it broke her heart, and she was just never the same again, and her career was never the same again. And so you kind of knew that something was going to happen, and it wasn't really going to end well. But it was, I like it. It's a cute little romantic movie, and I really liked it. And it's a shorter movie. I think it's only like an hour and a half long. But like I said, it had Jane Seymour in it, who was, I mean, she's a beautiful, beautiful woman. And Christopher Reeve, like I said before, he had his accident and was paralyzed. You know, he was famous for being Superman. But I like that movie. And I got it through Amazon Video, so I've watched it several times. You guys know, and I've said this earlier in the video, you guys know that when I actually buy a movie, when I actually purchase one, I like to get my money's worth out of it. So I can watch it several times, not in a row, but you know, just over time. Like I can watch it more than once if I'm in the mood to watch. If I'm in the mood to watch it, I will watch it. So I do get my money's worth out of my books and my movies and stuff. But I really liked that movie. I thought it was super cute. You know, I liked it. Even though it had a kind of a sad ending. They're together in heaven now, but you know, it was just such a, you know, what a sad way. What a sad way for them to be torn apart, you know. He should have checked all of his pockets before he went. He should have checked all of this pocket. And it was a secret pocket that he found, and in it was this coin from 1975 or whatever the heck it was. But yeah, I'd recommend that movie. It's a nice movie. Try to blend this out just a little bit more. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to get it. Sometimes these, depending on what colors you pick, like some of them don't play as nicely together, and then you got to kind of work with it to get it to blend. But these pencils actually work pretty nicely on this paper. Can't complain. All right, so that's all of our hearts colored, but I'm going to go grab something to fill in the little spaces here, the little white spaces around the hearts, and then our picture will be done. So just give me a minute and I will be right back. All right, guys, I'm going to take this violet colored pencil and I'm going to fill in the white spaces that we have going on in this picture around the hearts. And then we will be done with this picture. So, yeah, I was watching some of my footage just to make sure that I had everything. And there was one clip that I accidentally erased, so we don't have that. But I remember I was well, I had to go back and listen to the footage, but I remember I was talking about like all the different journals and stuff that I had, and I talked quite a bit about the Omni journal. But the types of journals that I keep are the Omni journal, and I explain why I decided to go with that rather than the Hobonichi this year. I keep a written journal, which is pretty much just strictly writing, you know. I don't really put too much else in there. Sometimes I do. I have my dream journal, which I write down different dreams that I have. And I need to do that more often. It's just sometimes I forget, you know, by the time I get to the journal, I forget what the dream is. But I need to do that more often, is to do that dream journal. And then I do my character journals. And my character journals are basically where you make up a character and you write their diary. So I have several of them that I do, of different characters that I write. So I do that. And I think that's all the journals I have that I do. So, what else to talk about while I fill this in? I had to take a little bit of a break because my camera battery died, so I had to take a little break, and I went to go ahead and edit some of the footage that I had. I took care of that. And then I will finish this up, and then I will make the video where I do the strokes art pencils. I've also been making videos for my other channel. If you guys don't know, I do have another channel where I do some gameplay of The Sims, you know, Sims 3. So I made a video for that the other day and got that uploaded. I also made another video for it, but I have to edit that one. I've got that one just kind of sitting there ready to be edited. I don't put up videos for that channel as often as I used to because I don't get as many views on that anymore. And so I kind of put my focus like on the coloring stuff because it seems like I get more of an audience for that. I get more views for that, and so I tend to go with the stuff that people tend to watch more. And I used to get quite a few views on that, but you know, ever since like Sims 4 came out, which I don't play Sims 4 as much, I don't get as many views for Sims 3 anymore. So I still make those videos because, you know, I still have a few loyal fans over there, but I don't do it as often. And I've been focusing on this channel over here. But if you ever want to watch anything over there, I do have that channel link in the description section, so you can go over there and see what that's all about if you want. Now I know some folks that did watch that channel kind of migrated over here to see what I did on this channel, which is awesome. But if you're one of those that just found me, you know, from the coloring, if you're interested in, you know, what Sims 3 is or what I'm talking about, take a trip over to that channel and you can see what I do over there, if that floats your boat. So yeah. Now I did say I haven't had any hauls for a while, really. The only things I've been showing were, the only really hauls that I've had were when I showed you guys these 2 sets of colored pencils that I got, plus the other video where I showed the Harry Potter journals. But other than that, I haven't really had any hauls. I've had to cut back a bit because we've had kind of a high balance on the credit card because, you know, we've had to do a few things. So we've had to cut back because we're, you know, we need to pay that off before we can really do much of anything extra. But you know what? I guess it's kind of good though, because I kind of feel like I may not buy as many books in the future because I have so many here, and I still have to film the rest of my coloring book collection. But I have so many here that I really need to just enjoy what I've got, because there's so many that I haven't actually colored in yet. I mean, you know, when you have like over 200 books in your collection, you know that there's going to be books that you haven't touched. So I need to just enjoy what I've got and actually color in books that I haven't colored in. My goal this year was to actually color something in 20 books that I haven't touched. So this book is considered one of them, I guess, because I hadn't really colored any pages in this book. So, and I figured I can do most of that on camera with you guys, you know, just pick a book that I haven't colored in and start coloring in it with you guys. Yeah. That's not to say that I won't be getting anything, because I usually do. I will get at least a little something and show you guys. So I'm not going to be abandoning the haul videos. It's just right now they're just going to be few, and they're just going to not be as often. You know, because we got to kind of cut back a little bit for a while. I told John, I said, well, I guess that means fountain pens too for both of us. You know, because we're really bad at that too. In getting fountain pens, because we both love our fountain pens. But, I mean, I'll do them as often as I can. It's just, I can't do too much right now, and I just need to enjoy. I just need to enjoy the things that I have. And I think a lot of people are doing that. Like, I've seen a lot of people go back to, you know, it seems like things have kind of switched around in the color tube world, because, you know, some time back, you know, people were coloring mostly with like polychromos and prismas and stuff, like, you know, with the more artist grade colored pencils. And now you see a lot of people going back to Crayola and just kind of going back to the more budget friendly stuff and just coloring in the books that they've already got, instead of just getting new ones for the sake of getting new ones, you know, which, you know, I certainly fell into that trap too. You know, I think we all have, because let's face it, you know, it's addicting, and You know, there are so many beautiful books out there and stuff, you know, and you know, you see something you like and then you just, you pick it up and you get it. But what I've seen a lot of people do is just kind of cut back on what they buy and just enjoy the stuff that they've already got, you know, which is a good thing to do. I mean, it's there, you bought it, you know, you might as, you know, you need to get that enjoyment out of it so that you don't feel like you've wasted your money. So that's what I am doing at the moment, is just enjoying what I have, which I've already got. And that is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. Because I've got plenty of stuff to work with. It's not like I have a shortage of supplies or books. I did get a request to do a couple of requests actually, and Tracy requested me to do flip-throughs of the Coloring Beautiful Princess books. Those are the Chinese coloring books that I got, which I've filmed videos for those, but I have to get them uploaded. So I do have them filmed. I think there's like one more that I have to do to complete that. And then I was also requested, you know, since I've been showing my coloring book collection, I've been requested to show all of the art supplies that I use too. So I will make a separate video with that. So you'll be seeing all the supplies I have and use in my coloring books. I'm thinking I will get to that later on this week, because I know that there's one set of pencils that I need to put in a case that I've got here that I haven't done yet. I do need to do that. Okay, I think we're just about done here. But I will be making that video, so you'll see the rest of my coloring book collection, and then I will make one with my coloring supplies. And if you want to see my journal collection, let me know. I will do that. I have blank journals and used journals. Can show that, as well as like notebooks and stuff. If you want to see that, just let me know. If you want to see my planner collection, I can do that, because I have a few Filofaxes and KikkiKs and stuff. So if you want to see what all I have, I can show that. Alright guys, here is our picture. Let me just zoom out so we can see everything. So this is our picture that we got colored. This is all of our hearts. That's what it looks like. So I will be posting that on my Instagram, as well as my own coloring group on Facebook. I'll put that on Shalene's group. So yeah, here's our picture with the Crayola Signature brand colored pencils. I hope you enjoyed watching this. So go ahead and leave a comment and tell me what you think. Hit that like button, of course, if you like this video. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already, but better yet, hit that bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. You will find a link to my coloring group on Facebook. Don't forget to come over and join that. Just send a request over and I will take care of that. You can follow me on Instagram. I have quite a few coloring pages up there, which I totally need to update that. Yeah, so there's social media there that you can follow me on. Join the coloring group on Facebook and hit all those buttons I mentioned. And we will talk to you guys in the next video. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to y'all later. All right, bye guys.